Meet the man who is responsible for the beautification of our parks and modernizing its infrastructure. Let's see what's next for Essex County. Up next on the Giblin Report. Welcome to the Giblin Report. I'm Assemblyman Tom Giblin, representing the 34th District, which includes Clifton, East Orange, Montclair, and Orange. On today's segment, I am pleased to welcome the Essex County Executive, Joseph N. DiVincenzo. Welcome, County Executive DiVincenzo.
Thanks, Tom, for having me.
Okay. Joe, it seems like yesterday, 11 years have gone by. You've been the Essex County Executive. Do you feel the time kind of flying? I mean, it's just a lot, a lot of accomplishment behind you, but certainly I know you're looking with the same type of enthusiasm when your first day you brought to the job. How do you feel about things?
First of all, I feel like it's day one. It's like I'm just starting all over again. The past 11 years have been great. We've accomplished so much. I assembled a great team here in Essex County. We have 3,500 employees that truly do an outstanding job of providing the services that are necessary for our Essex County residents. So it's really been a team effort. And also, I want to thank you. I mean, for the last 11 years, you and I have both teamed up together, and you have been a true partner with me in Essex County as far as continuing to move us forward. But, I love my job so much. I love doing what I'm doing each and every day. I get up in the morning, and it's about getting things done. It's about helping people. And I still have that. I have that burning feeling in me because there's so much more that needs to be done. And this county, we've come so far, and we want to continue moving forward.
Joe, certainly you show a lot of enthusiasm for the job. There was an article in last week's paper. Actually, I'll be frank with you, I thought it was kind of small, but it really is a tremendous achievement about your bond rating for Essex County. Maybe tell the viewers of the Giblin Report what that means and where you've come during your watch.
Listen, there's been 5 county execs, the 5th one. I'm going on my 3rd term as county exec. And we've done a lot of great things in this county as far as improving our parks, infrastructure, and things. But to me, the most important thing is making sure your financial house is in order. When I took over this county, we had a $64 million budget deficit. Today, we have a $37 million surplus. Our bond rating was junk bonds, Baa. Our bond rating with Fitch, it's AA. With Moody's, it's AA too. My goal is to get a AAA bond rating for both, and we're moving in that direction. But our bond ratings went up 7 times with Moody's so far. We're continually moving up where most municipalities and also the state has been downgraded. The municipalities either staying, even are going down. Essex County now is continuing to move forward because we're doing the right things. We've cut spending. We did it through attrition. Employees, we had 4,200 employees. We're down to 3,500. We've kept that to a certain level. And we increased revenue in this county and facilities.
So the bottom line is the taxpayers are going to save if you have to go out and do some borrowing down the road?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, anytime you have to do any kind of bonding whatsoever, there's going to be less interest that's going to be charged to the taxpayers and stuff like that. So it's great. But, we still have to continue on this path because we are moving forward, but things are still rough out there. In our county, we still have the highest property taxes. We have the highest foreclosure, highest unemployment. So, we go from very urban to very suburban, and we still got to continue making cuts and keep on doing what we're doing.
Let's talk about the Joe DiVincenzo story. Joe, tell us a little bit about your background. I know you grew up in Newark, and of course, you went to local schools, and you're almost a football player professionally.
Well, I was a football player. I just couldn't make it to the big time.
Okay.
But, I grew up.
Went to Barringer High School.
I grew up in Newark, went to Barringer High School. From there, I was recruited by the University of Nebraska, and they recruited about 3 or 4 quarterbacks. Dave Hum was one, and I was the other one. What they wanted me to do was to go to their farm team, was McCook Junior College. So I went out there, and I made All-American Junior College, and at that time, Hum was playing for the University of Nebraska. So Devaney, after the first year, who was a famous coach for the University of Nebraska in the 70s, when I was out there, said to me, he says, Joe, you had a great season. I want you to be redshirted. I want you to play under Dave Hum. And at that time, I was feeling my oats. I said, no, I don't want. I want to play another year of junior college. I said, send me to your best junior college. So they sent me to Northeastern Oklahoma. Long story short, I go there for 3 weeks. I get homesick. I come home. I go to Jersey City State for 2 years, make All-American there. And then after that, I got drafted by the World Football League, which at that time, if you remember, the World Football League and the NFL were fighting each other. I went there. The team I went to folded in 6 weeks. So I tried to go back to college at Jersey City State to play my last year, but I was ineligible because you signed the professional contract. Even though I never got any money because they went bankrupt, I couldn't go back and play. But my last tryout was, I had 7 different tryouts. Of course, I didn't make it. I got cut by the teams. My last tryout was with the St. Louis Cardinals, and Otis Anderson was the #1 pick for that time.
He's Essex County man.
He's an Essex County man. He always tells me, he says, Joe, you would have made the team. Instead of throwing the ball, you should have handed me off the ball a little bit more, and maybe you would have been on the team.
Then, of course, you spent a fair amount of time working for the Newark Board of Education in Essex County, primarily in the field of recreation, right?
Well, I was a teacher. I started out as a teacher. I taught for a couple of years, and then I became coordinator of athletics for the Newark Public Schools, never ever thinking that I would have an opportunity to run for office. What happened was I was always a political organizer. You remember when you were there. I used to run everybody's rally, campaign for the Democratic Party. I always was the guy behind the scenes. And then I had an opportunity in 1990. Carmen Casciano stepped down as freeholder at large, and at that time Ray Durkin was the chairman, and he gave me an opportunity to be a freeholder.
So you were freeholder for 12 years? And
13 years.
13 years.
And 11 of those 13 years, I was in leadership, 3 as vice president and 8 as president. And when I was president in 1995, that's when we had a Republican county executive at that time, and we had a Republican governor, and we had this huge debt that we had to handle. And I thought for sure, because we had a Republican county executive, Republican governor, that Essex County was going to do well. But for some reason, we didn't do as well as we thought. But I learned a lot when I was president 8 years, and I think that knowledge that I was able to pick up as that 8 years, because it was difficult times during those 8 years, helped me to be where I'm at today.
Joe, one of the crown jewels of your administration is the Essex County Parks. Maybe focus a little bit about Turtleback Zoo and all the things that you're trying to accomplish up there on West Orange. And tell us what you started with and where you're at and what you hope to continue on with.
Listen, when I took over in 2003, our park system, which is the first county park system, was totally neglected. Not that it was any fault of any previous administration. It's just that when you have budget cuts, the first thing to always be cut is in parks and recreation. It has to do with the quality of life. When I became the county exec in 2003, maybe because I had the parks background, maybe because that's where our vacation was, my resort was Branch Brook Park growing up then, I had a love for the parks, I have a love for the environment and stuff. So what I did was I made that a priority because I knew that was something that people could feel, people could touch, and people would appreciate it, especially when I want to bring families and to be able to socialize. And to have a nice park in a neighborhood says immensely what it does for the economic development of that neighborhood. And what we did was, over the last 11 years, we put over $125 million into renovating our parks, every one of our parks. But the big thing there was what we did is when I took over, we had 1 park conservancy. Today, we have 52 park conservancies. And by having these park conservancies, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, we made them all get nonprofit status so they could apply for Green Acres dollars for their parks, and we would match it on the county with our open space dollars. And we've been able to do that.
You got 52?
We have 52 park conservancies. And by having that,
that takes like a lot of local interest to people.
Oh yeah, you want people to be able to buy into the parks because these parks are in their neighborhood. This is where their families grew up. And by having that ownership, that sense of ownership there, they're our eyes and our ears. They're the ones who are going to make sure that whatever's taking place in that park is being done right. And also, the big thing is they're going to hold us responsible on the county side to making sure that we're going to do our job. and it's been a great relationship.
And how's this work, like especially like in urban centers? I mean, as far as the
You're-
maintenance of the parks.
It's been phenomenal. I can't say enough about it. You know, if you go through any one of our parks where we did renovations and stuff, you won't see litter, you won't see graffiti. People have bought into what we have here. We have something very, very special here in this county. You know, look at Branch Brook Park. When I took over, we had 700 cherry blossom trees. Today, we have 4,300 cherry blossom trees.
That's bigger than Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. only has 3,700. But Branch Brook, we did that with the Branch Brook Park Alliance. And we had Will Prudential that bought into there. Now we have more than Washington, D.C.
You even moved the lines.
Yeah, and we even moved the lines. Okay. Next year, we're going to add 700 more cherry blossom. We're going to have 5,000 cherry blossom trees. But then you go here in your district, you know, the Presby, the Iris Gardens, which is historic. We have plants going back there to the 1500s. They were in trouble financially. And what we did...
You basically rescued them, really.
We rescued them, you know, where we were able to get Green Acres dollars and open space. We acquired it. We maintain it. We take care of the facility. But the Presby Conservancy runs it day to day. And without them, we couldn't do... Yeah, we own it. But if we didn't have those, the people there that take care of it, to maintain the plants, the county couldn't do it. So it's a great partnership that we have with Presby.
And what about Turtleback Zoo? I mean, every time we go up there, it just seems like, I mean, tell us what you inherited and where you're at. I know you just had a couple of exhibits that just opened up, and your numbers are good. I mean, it's...
Turtleback Zoo in 1995, the previous administration wanted to close it down because financially it wasn't bringing them money and the animals weren't being treated well. And what happened is the people came out in large numbers from the zoological, from the docents, and kids from all over they came out and said, listen, please don't close it. In 2003, what I did is I fulfilled the commitment. We left it open. We put over $75 million in it, and we got that through Green Acres, through private donations, foundations, and corporations. We had everybody buy into Turtleback Zoo. You know, in 1995, it was the most money it ever brought in was $600,000. The highest attendance was 150,000. Today, this year, we're going to hit over 600,000 people, and our revenue is going to be 4.8.
And you're self-sustaining, right?
And we're self-sufficient. We're the only zoo in the Northeast that is self-sufficient. And to me, that's the most important thing, because you got to be able to move on. We never, ever want to get back in that position in 1995. And the reason it's successful is because the people of the county bought in. You have to have the residents buy into what you have here. Now, up in that complex, you don't have just Turtleback Zoo. That entire complex we called now the South Mountain Recreation Complex, which consists of Turtleback Zoo, Cody Arena, which is, we have 2 ice floors there. Phenomenal things are being done there. We have zip lines that were destroyed in Hurricane Sandy, which will be reopened in August. And it's not only going to be for kids above 54 inches, it's also going to be kids for lower than 54. So everyone will be able to participate on that. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. We have a golf course, miniature golf course. In July 26th on Cherry Lane, you can see it right now, we'll be opening the paddle boats because we have a lease now with the Township of Orange.
It took a little while to accomplish, right?
It took a little time, but guess what? Everybody came on board. We have
and
a 20-year lease.
We have
20-year lease, and it's $75,000 a year. And you know, it's a home run for Essex County residents, but also for the Township of Orange.
And what's the plans with the use of the reservoir?
The reservoir we're going to do, first of all, we're going to have a path that goes around the entire reservoir so people will be able to walk, jog. We're going to be able to, there's fishing that's always went on there, but now if you go up there, you'll see more fishing from everyone throughout Essex County because it's a beautiful waterway. It's no longer a reservoir, it's a beautiful waterway, and it's stocked with fish and stuff. And besides doing all that, we're going to have paddle boats that are going to be up there. And we have a huge picnic pavilion. So when people want to have large events outside along the waterway, they could actually rent that facility. For the Township of Orange, though, it will be at no cost for the Township of Orange, for the town itself, when they have their huge, and you've been there, the senior citizens events, they'll be able to use it at no cost whatsoever. But it's exciting what we have in here because
that's a tremendous view looking out from McLuhan's.
Listen, to be able to have that complex sit on 2,000 acres of open space, you know, and to be 5 or 10 minutes from your home or 20 minutes from your home, right in our own backyard. See, my whole thing about this county is people used to run away for us 11 years ago. Now people are coming to us, not only in Essex County, but from other counties. We want people to come here to be able to spend their dollars so we could boost our businesses up here in Essex County. We're not only doing it with there, we're also doing it with our golf courses also.
And how's the attendance
Oh,
on
the
that?
golf course, we broke all revenues at our golf course. Every one of our golf courses has been renovated. You know, it's a lower cost than playing somewhere else, but our course is in very good
I
shape.
hear it from the golfers, they compliment Essex County about the upgrades and...
We didn't hear that when we were freeholders, right?
The
Remember?
maintenance of the facilities, whether it's Weequahic or Henricks or Francis Byrne, everybody compliments how well they're run.
Listen, being county exec, you have to have a great team. And if any credit I deserve is by assembling a great team. And we have a great team here, whether it's the people taking care of the complex, maintaining our parks, or our golf courses, or providing services to our welfare things. We have 3,500 employees that truly work their heart and soul out for this county, and it's just great to see.
Joe, Essex County still has a critical issue about unemployed folks, but I know under one roof at 50 South Clinton, you've kind of put a lot of different agencies in there. Maybe in a nutshell, see if you can kind of tell us about what Essex County is doing to deal with this nagging problem of unemployed people.
The thing is, what we're doing is we have the small business development thing. We're trying to do is be able to train these people and to get them to jobs and stuff, and to making sure that they're trained well so that they could be able to apply to get people working. We have job fairs that are constantly that we want people to be able to come. We have corporations that come there looking for people to work, and we try to put them a good foot forward as far as being able to get them real jobs, not just jobs at McDonald's and Burger, to get them real jobs, and to be able to work with the corporations and foundations. We have one-stop centers. If they need any kind of help whatsoever, they go to any one of our one-stop centers to be able to, for any kind of GED classes or any kind of learning classes there, we train them to get them ready for their jobs.
I know one of the key concerns you have is the Essex County vocational school system. I'm not sure where that's at now. I know you have some plans for a new facility in Newark over the next few years. I know there were some issues of litigation. I'm not sure if that's been solved, but I mean, why do you feel that's important?
Well, the thing is, listen, we have 4 vocational schools. We have a total of 2,200 kids in our schools. We have a school at Newark Tech. We have one at North 13th Street in Newark. Then we have Bloomfield Tech and West Caldwell. We're going to keep Newark Tech. The other 3, what we want to do is consolidate it into a modern facility. And the facility that we're looking at right now is United Hospital. And we've been in court fighting it over because we want to condemn the property to build this brand new school, which we will get 90% reimbursement from the state. We have schools like North 13th and Bloomfield Tech that were built in 1925. The kids are doing very, very well. We got 2 Blue Ribbon Awards in the last 4 years. They're excelling, but we don't have the up-to-date curriculum that should be provided for these young people.
Are you going to be able to expand the numbers in terms of additional students?
No, we're still going to be able to stay. We're only going to be able to stay within the 2,200 students. We're not going to.
What about transportation for kids getting back and forth?
See, it's going to be easier because the United Hospital is right off of 280, and it's going to be in Newark. The 90% of the kids that go to our vocational schools is Newark, East Orange, Irvington, and Orange. All right, the other 10% come from other parts of the county. So it'll be easier for those other kids to be able to travel to that 280 to get to United Hospital, where we're going to have this beautiful facility. And the kids from Newark, East Orange, Irvington, Orange, it'll be right in their backyard. But besides building a brand new school that's going to help our young people, just think with that school, and you know that area very well. It's been an eyesore for the last 13 years. You have buildings that have been abandoned up there. To put a brand new school is just going to help that area, especially economic development, and be able to bring other kinds of businesses in there, because when you have a large school, you always see other kinds of businesses taking place there, and it will just help the entire area.
I was reading the paper over the last week especially, and it talked about the whole issue of gun violence in Essex County. I mean, it's kind of sad to read it, all the different locations and what have you. I mean, I know that's not your role, but you have a good relationship with the sheriff and law enforcement officials. So Why is that so important in terms of trying to solve some of the issues confronting Essex County?
First of all, one of the things that I've been very fortunate the 11 years is that in this county we have great public safety officials that lead those departments. You mentioned just some, and we have prosecutor right now, it's Carolyn Murray, and we have Sheriff Armando Vontour. But plus we have, in the largest city, we have Director Sam DeMeo and also with the prosecutor Anthony Ambrose. And we have 22 towns in here, police chiefs, that I have to tell you work so well together as far as being able to share services, but also be able to help each other. Because I attend those meetings where they're at. Plus, we have people from the FBI, the U.S. Attorney, all teaming to help us to do a job that's, it's not easy, to be able to fight crime. And my job as county exec is to be there, be supportive, and try to provide the resources that are necessary so that they can do their jobs. Gun violence, no question, especially in our, is a serious, serious issue that needs to be dealt with. And which I don't understand is in Washington or even why we can't have universal background checks. My thing is I wish there was no guns on the street. I'm anti-guns totally, but I mean to have that law pass universal background checks for all. I mean,
it seems like a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
Yeah, it should happen really.
Especially if you live here and you see what's happening. I mean, we have to try to do anything in our power to try to prevent people getting guns that shouldn't have guns.
One of the other important responsibilities of the county is this whole issue of our penal institutions. I know during your watch that you finally completed the Essex County Correctional Facility on Doremus Avenue, and then of course with the Youth House. Tell us a little bit how those facilities are being run. I mean, and I think that you worked out some regional arrangements that have generated some revenue.
There are two stories. In the beginning of my administration was the Essex County Jail. When I took it over, it was only 40% done. I had to get 60% of it done in 1 year and close 2 facilities, the Caldwell facility and Newark facilities, and move them into the facility. And we were able to do that and get it done. People thought it couldn't be done, but we got it done. The other thing is, the next step was getting off the federal consent order, which we were under for 25 years, and we were able to do that, get off that. By doing that, we were able to make relationships with other counties and also with the federal government as far as bringing immigration.
I think you made a relationship with Passaic County?
Passaic County, Hudson County.
And what did that mean, for example, like with Passaic?
What Passaic County, what our jail is based on with the hospital. We did with Passaic, Hudson, and Union. We used to go to Passaic County when our prisoners got sick, and we used to have to bring them to Passaic, and it used to cost us money. What we did is instead of going to Passaic, we made a deal with East Orange General, and we have a lock unit there, which entertains, like I said, those 4 different counties.
So you're taking care of the prisoners, but at the same time creating revenue.
And we get money in for that. But besides that, our jail, with the immigration program, listen, somebody has to do it. And being a county exec, being a CEO, you have to be able to bring in money. We have a 20-year contract with the federal government as far as housing ICE immigrations. The first year we brought in $8 million, the second year 13, the third year 22, 33, last year $47 million. That's additional new revenue that we were able to bring in. We would not be able to do it if we didn't have a new jail and we didn't get off the federal consent order. Our youth house is another pride. We built a brand new house, youth house, and we opened it in 1997. What happened was we went to Passaic County.
You actually have a school on site to
full
try
day,
to...
not 3 hours, full day. They go to school full day, the kids.
Okay.
Just like any other school. They graduate just like any other kids. They go to the regular high school, and it's fantastic. But Passaic, we were able to get Passaic to close. They made the decision to close down their youth house, which they saved approximately $10 million by doing that. And we take their kids into our youth house, and we bring an additional $5 million of revenue in our facility. That's shared services. We're trying, and I don't know if we're there yet, we're trying the last 2 or 3 years to work with Hudson County for the same type of program. But that's a decision they have to make because we still have space available, and we're still looking for other places where we could bring kids in to bring in additional revenue.
Joe, if you're looking forward over the next year and a half in this term, what's some of your goals? Continue on pretty much the same way you're going in terms of your work with the parks and education and our correctional institutions?
Listen, there's no question. First of all, the making sure that our financial house is in order. Because if your house is not in order, you're not able to do the other things. We're going to continue to make improvements in our parks. We're going to continue to make improvements in our roads and our bridges and stuff like that. And our education system, we're going to build that brand new school. We're in court now, but come August, I think we're going to own it and we're going to move forward with that.
With Essex County College, I know with the recent higher education
Got
bond,
$20 million there.
and where's that going? That's going to be upgraded, like in West Cornwall, is it?
No, well, part of West Cornwall facility is going to be done, but then also in Newark. See, with that $20 million, you also have to match it. So we have $20 million that's sitting there that they're going to match it. So there's actually going to be $40 million worth of construction. The West Cornwall facility is going to be redone, but also the main campus is going to get some work there done too.
Joe, you're a very busy guy. You got a lot of things, that you're working on. I know it's a 7-day